Happy Friday, everyone. It's time once again for a brief devotion for you and your family. One of the scripture texts featured in the lectionary this week is Psalm 13, which is a very short psalm, only 6 verses. But in this psalm, it's about enduring hardship for a long time, and I think that's something we know a little bit about. Psalm 13 is really speaking to me today because I feel like the whole world is crying out right now. We've watched as the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted our lives for the first half of this year so far, and there's no end in sight. And we've witnessed a worldwide death toll that is quickly approaching 500,000 people, with millions more infected and billions economically impacted by the virus. On top of that, we here in America continue to be divided on nearly everything that you can have an opinion for, whether it's reforming police departments or the simple act of wearing a mask, which, by the way, will start to be required in North Carolina as of this afternoon. When it comes to our church, we are hard at work trying to figure out how and when we can return, but this is a slow process and it requires patience from all of us. Patience that sometimes, even I'll admit, I don't have in large amounts. So to put it all together, there's a lot going on that is at best pretty inconvenient and at worst devastating. What are we supposed to do when our existence gets this way? That's why I think it's helpful to read Psalm 13. This psalm was perhaps written by David, and in my Bible, the title of this psalm is Prayer for Deliverance from Enemies. David prays, "How long, O Lord?" He asks this question 4 times in the first 2 verses. He is frustrated, he is impatient, he's perhaps in trouble or danger. He's thinking, how long is God going to allow me to suffer? This psalm teaches me that it's okay to be angry or frustrated with God as long as we channel those feelings into positive action. David was angry because he was overwhelmed, and so he pleaded with God to protect and save him. David actually worshiped God through his anger, and as lost as he felt, he still told God how much he loves God. In the last 2 verses of this psalm, David says, "I trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he had dealt bountifully with me." Bountifully. He says God dealt bountifully. That means God has given him so much. And even in his despair, David still worshiped God. We should do the same. Whatever you're feeling right now about everything that's going on in the world, take it to God in prayer as a starting point. You might be surprised how God speaks to you if you have the ears to listen. Until next time, I hope that you'll speak with God in your good feelings and in your bad. We'll see you soon.